No one cares. Nobody's going to, at the end of the day, be like, the Pacers beat the Bucks, but they didn't have Giannis and Dame wasn't. No one cares. No one cares we lost an NBA Finals and within 48 hours, Kevin Durant tore his Achilles and Klay Thompson tore his ACL. No one cares. It's not how this thing works. A part of winning in this league is staying healthy. That's actually a part of the job, to stay healthy. Because as they say, the best ability is availability. So, as you all know, I got nothing but love for Dame, but you just can't, like, nobody, you're not allowed to say, oh, well, they got this because, no, that's not how this works. You play who's on the court and who's lined up against you, and that is the task at hand, because guess what? If you lose, nobody's going to be like, oh, well, we're going to give him a pass because he took it lighter because that guy was hurt and that guy was out. No one cares. So, shout out to the Pacers. Their fans may be somewhere in my comments like the Knicks fans talking about, oh, you was wrong about us. I'm still not wrong about y'all. I still think the Indiana Pacers are an 82-game team. And by the way, Indiana Pacers need to make sure going into this next round that they get Pascal Siakam off, because he's the guy that's been there, knows how to do it, and he had a great couple games to start this series. Not so great as the series went on. They're going to need a big Pascal, a great Pascal, to win this next round. So I think that needs to be the focus. Rick Carlisle is an offensive genius, so I know he'll find ways to get him involved. But I think that'll be important. However, let's get back to this trolling. So, Hallie goes at Pat Bev on Twitter with the quote, "Con man, flip from above the rim," which Dame previously tweeted about Patrick Beverley. You all also should know about the feud that Damian Lillard and Patrick Beverley has had over the years. If you remember back to the bubble, when Dame missed the 2 free throws, Patrick Beverley and a couple other guys, I can't quite pinpoint who the other guys were, but they were falling over the little stanchion, guardrail type billboard-ish thing that was in front of the benches in the bubble. They were going crazy when Dame missed those 2 free throws. Then the whole thing went down on Twitter. So it got interesting last night, and I must say, I respect Hallie's trolling. Like, everybody is not good at trolling. Most people actually are bad at it. You start to see in boxing today, like, how bad boxers are, like, talking and promoting a fight. It's gotten so bad. Like, people really aren't good trolls anymore. And so to see Hallie, like, number one, this just didn't come. Hallie's been playing. He's been planning this. Like, he's been like, oh, I'm going to tweet this. I'm going at them this way when we beat these guys. Like, he's been planning this, and to actually go through with it, I love it. And the reason I love it so much is because it didn't just start. Like, they beat them 5 times in the regular season and was talking to them about it. So it wasn't like, oh, it's surprise beef and this just started. No. Both teams got exactly who they wanted to see in the first round. Pacers came out on top and still talking. Man, I told y'all before, though, I love the way those young Pacers compete. I've talked to you about how crazy Nembhard be talking to people on the court. Like, and, you know, it's really fun to watch. And I am always one to watch the game within the game. I'm just not watching the typical, who scored this point, who got this rebound, even typical X's and O's. I'm always watching the game within the game. And I can't help but watch the Indiana Pacers. And one of the most valuable players on the Indiana Pacers is a guy who does not even get in the basketball game. I'm not sure when's the last time he's gotten in the game. Not really why he's there. One of the most valuable players on the Indiana Pacers is James Johnson. And the reason James Johnson, to me, is one of the most valuable players on the Indiana Pacers is because he is the very reason that Hallie is talking like that. Like, and cool with it. And y'all ain't gonna do nothing to me. And it is what it is. What you gonna do? And he's the exact reason Nembhard acts the way he acts. I don't know Nembhard from a can of paint prior to playing against him. But I know the confidence that he has on the court, the demeanor that he walks around with, that's backed by something. Like, that's backed by something to know, like, yeah, y'all, you ain't gonna touch me. And they got a vet, an OG over there. I always talk about the importance of vets. I always talk about the importance of having OGs on your team. And they got a vet that's well respected in the NBA. And if I'm honest, highly feared by a lot of people in the NBA. And so they walk around like that with their chests out. Like they walk around like they untouchable and you ain't gonna do nothing to me. And guess what? Nobody has. Because they know they got that backing. And so, again, I'm always watching the game within the game. And to see Hallie trolling the way he's trolling, called that man a con man, took Dame's quote and ran it back on his teammate. That's crazy. That's high-level trolling right there. We may have to start some troll awards on the Draymond Green show because that is high-level trolling. And I'm rolling with that. This is not a controversial podcast. I don't really love controversy. I'm not really one to try to get in trouble. I thought I get people in trouble. I've been in enough of my own and kind of see how people try to kick you when you're down and you have your moments. And I'm really not one to agree with it. I thought Stephen A. the other day talking about, I called the league to try to get Russell Westbrook suspended. It was absolutely absurd. A, this is how we feed our family. And you're taking it upon yourself from your media job to call and say, this brother, like, y'all not suspended. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like that, enjoy the game. Like, that was crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. So, that's not what this is. However, Pat Bev threw a ball at a fan last night. Launched the ball. Bam! Hit the girl. Boop! Ooh, crazy. Apparently, he didn't hit his target or he had two targets. He got the ball back. Hey, throw that back. Like he checking the rock up or something at the park in Saginaw, Michigan. At Unity Park, hey, check the rock. He checked the rock and bow, threw it at the other dude. And that was interesting because Pat keep having these instances after they lose, like in these playoff games. And that one might have been crazier than the CP push. I don't know if y'all remember Pat Bev. CP was just walking to the bench. They ain't say a word. I hated CP, by the way. By the way, y'all, I text CP yesterday. He didn't text me back, so y'all make sure y'all go at CP. Tell him don't not respond to me because our season ain't going no more. But I'm at CP. But anyway, the push on CP, this might have been worse. Because it opens up an entirely different can of worms. Like, I saw the police getting involved. Those people may want to press charges. But, man, Adam's going to have a problem on his hands with this one. Because it's about as close as you can get to going in the stands. And that is forbidden for us. So, I don't know. Then Pat didn't follow it up very well because he followed it up with getting into it with the female reporter about not subscribing to his podcast. I ain't never heard somebody say, if you ain't subscribed to my podcast, don't ask me a question. I actually try to take the complete opposite approach because I am very appreciative of the NBA supporting podcasts the way they do. The way the league has supported players branching off and doing these things and organizations have accepted it, like, at the end of the day, we still got day jobs. And I am never one to try to cross the two. Like, no, my podcast is my podcast and I'm going to do this interview.